Welcome to the station of decapitation without your head. I'm Nasty Neal, and I'm joined by Travis Stevens, Sarah Lind,
Hi.
and Josh Ruben of A Wounded Fawn, now streaming on Shudder, which is a very interesting movie. It really starts as one movie and goes into different territory, which I was very excited about. And I have to say, anyone, you have to watch a beginning and pay attention, and watch the whole end.
Yeah, I think the idea of what if you made a lasagna that halfway through turned into spaghetti. So, hopefully people enjoy that.
For Sarah and Josh, when you're reading the script at first and you get to where the movie really becomes something different, what goes through your head?
I mean, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well, there you go. That's the end of the interview. No.
Pretty simple. Making movies is pretty simple.
Yeah.
Now, I know Sarah's worked with you before, so did you have her in mind for this movie?
Not only did I have her in mind, I sincerely believe that Sarah's sort of worldview, her artistic contributions in this film go far beyond just the performance. She's somebody that is a really great collaborator, and we talked a lot about sort of what the movie was trying to do, how to go about doing it, and so I am very indebted to your brain, Sarah.
What interested you in the story, Sarah? The role of Meredith.
I mean, the script read very much like the finished movie, which I love. I loved it as a script. I love it even more as a finished movie. It's really up my alley, for one thing. Like, I liked how strange it was. I liked how colorful it was. I also really liked Meredith. I think she's coming from an interesting place as a character and is heading in an interesting direction. And then sort of like what she does with her, victim status, or with her experience, and like how she seeks to rectify it and survive, I think was really, really interesting to me on a lot of levels. So I just kind of like tip to tail loved it.
And since the movie's primarily the two actors, there's other things, but it's primarily the two interacting. What made Josh right for Bruce?
Well, I've said it before. Josh is incredibly charming, handsome, but I think his ability to sort of find a way to disarm people with his humor, or at least for Bruce, that's how Bruce uses his humor. I was like, this is a really, really interesting weapon for a serial killer to have, because I feel, you're making a movie in a subgenre where there's been so many incredible movies. So what are you going to do? You're going to do Hannibal Lecter. You're going to do Patrick Bateman. You're going to, what is your template? And the idea of somebody that you're like, oh, I like this guy. And this is yeah, he's funny. He's cute. Yeah, he's not dangerous. I was like, oh, well, that's something unique. And I think Josh is masterful at sort of using that. And you can see it in Scare Me. And I think in Scare Me, I was just sort of like, that's a wonderful set of tools.
And especially in the car scene when you two are driving to the cabin, you have to be charming, or else everyone would be like, what the hell is she in the car with this guy for?
Yeah, I mean, it was so squirmy when I had to touch Sarah's leg after, whatever, just other squirmy moments in the context of what was a conversation that was going pretty well. I mean, we've been playing that different, in different ways was, it was so fun. I mean, that's, part of the playground of it all. But yeah, I mean, this guy's wearing a mask, and it was fun to play both masked and unmasked. Having that melt away when he was by himself, I think was probably the most fun part of playing him.
And not to give, it's not a spoiler because you find out right away, that Bruce is not a good guy. So this isn't like a whodunit or anything. So I think even when you're watching it the first time, it's very like, it's cringy that she gets in the car with him and are going off, and you assume it's not going to be for the best.
Yeah, we know he's a wolf.
Right.
Wolf, and he thinks she's a sheep. He thinks he's going to eat, and the fun of the movie is showing he's not the wolf anymore.
I thought watching it was done on film, so I looked it up, and you filmed it on film. So I was wondering, how does that affect when you're making the movie, especially the final scene that goes on very long, because you don't want to waste the film, I assume.
Yeah, you just have to. You have to go into it with a very clear plan because you're factoring in your resources. So you've only got so much film. You can only use so much of it per day. You can only use so much of it per scene. You can only use so much of it per shot. So those calculations provide a more rigid structure than if you have digital and you can just shoot all day. So I think we've all talked about, like, it's pretty invigorating because you're like, all right, let's do it. We've got a limited number of takes. Let's come in prepared. We know exactly what we're going for, and let's go for it.
It's annoying to me that a lot of streaming sites will fly through the credits at the end, and I like that you made it like you can't do that. Or at least you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that in any movie, I guess. But Josh mentioned mask for his character, not a literal mask, but for Sarah, how about wearing a literal mask in the movie?
It's cool. It's like being a kid again, taking in like community theater classes, and like it feels very playful, play-like and playful. So it was a cool challenge to be sort of limited in what I can do as an actor because I can't use my face, so what can I do physically or with my voice, hopefully. And it was just so fun, like fun as hell.
How about acting with a snake?
I loved it. I'm gonna put it in my rider from now on. Must be 3 snakes in each movie.
Yeah.
They were and they were little rock stars too. They did such a great job.
Yeah. Is it a hard movie to make a trailer for and do post art because you don't want to give too much away, but you also need people to watch it?
I was really impressed with Shudder oversaw the creation of the trailer and artwork, and it's such a great question, especially with horror movies where there's big narrative twists. It seems like the template is summarize the movie in the first part of the trailer and then reveal the twist and then montage out. And you basically recreated the movie in trailer form. And what Shudder, what the marketing and creative team did with this, I think captured the spirit of the movie without doing any of that. And so, yeah, kudos to them. And like, there's nothing better than seeing a new piece of art based on a piece of art you made. And you can tell that artist got inspired and their creative juices started flowing and they came up with something on their own. And it's not just a derivative of like, the base sort of concept.
Now, I saw it at Fright Fest originally in London. Did Josh and did you guys get to see the movie with an audience before it went to Shudder?
A few times, yeah. My first time seeing the movie, let alone seeing it with an audience, was at Tribeca in New York, and that was amazing. There's also the reunion with the crew as well. That was really something. Because I hadn't seen the film yet, I was way wrapped up in thinking that I was just dog shit. I was like, turned to my wife and I was like, the movie's amazing. I'm bad, right? She's like, babe, which is my reaction the first time. And then it's like, the more you see it, you appreciate the artistry of it, the film of it all. I mean, the Beyond Fest and Fantastic Fest screenings were so amazing. I mean, these guys were able to go to Spain and the UK and everything else. So that I know those were really insane screenings. But every time I saw it, warming up to my own insecurities, and in the wake of my own insecurities, it just was such an incredible ride, especially the waves of humor and reactions to the humor in accordance with the jump scares was really, really exciting.
Sarah, yourself being at the festivals or any audience, I guess.
Oh, what was the question?
Yeah, what was the experience like watching a movie with an audience?
It was great. It was really exciting. It's always a little bit different, that you never quite know where they'll laugh or won't laugh or what the reaction will be, but it was consistently, I think, right, like really satisfying. Like really felt like, yeah, we got them. Each screening we were at, like we got the audience, which was great. And at the end, they go through such a roller coaster of emotions, which is my favorite part to witness. So that was great. I mean, the festivals were.
How about seeing if Travis being at the festivals?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm just we're incredibly fortunate to be able to see people experience the work, right? Because nowadays, so many people watch movies at home, or like this will be the majority of people will see it on
Right.
Shudder. For us to be able to see it with a crowd and see how the crowd is engaging with it, like so grateful. So thank you to all the festivals who invited the film and invited us, and thanks for Shudder.
Do you think that's a good gauge of how people will react to a film, is how they react to it at a festival? Because I think some people might think a festival audience might be different than a wider audience, or do you think they are kind of same people that would watch something on Shudder?
Well, I think the same people would watch it in a festival and on Shudder, but the experience is going to be different.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know, it's just it's physics, it's chemistry. You get a bunch of people in a dark room, and that energy is going to be different than sitting on your couch with your hand in your pants.
Yeah, I was really into them, I guess.
Which is how I'm going to watch it anyway.
Now I'm doing these interviews for the rest of the day, actually.
Thank you.
How about the music in it? I had to look this track up. LSD by Manfred Mann, which I thought was great in the movie. I love anytime there's like a contrast in the music, what's going on. And first, I guess, picking it, and then Josh and Sarah, the first time you watch a movie and you actually hear the music, because I assume you didn't know that was going to be in it when you're filming it.
Well, I think all of the music, you know, because we're experiencing the story through their point of view, the character's point of view, it was important to have the songs basically be saying commenting on what's happening in the movie. And so we were fortunate, like that was one song that we were able to get, and you know, it worked well. The tempo worked well, and you're not the first person to say they dug it. So that's pretty cool.
Well, that's good, yeah. And Josh and Sarah, when obviously when you're making the movie, it's different than seeing it with all the sound and everything. What did you think of the music in particular?
Oh, it's phenomenal. Vol is such an incredible composer, and he composed 2 different films at Tribeca. The other one was a comedy. I'm going to mispronounce the last name. It was Wes Schlaugdorf is Dead. I believe it was Wes something is Dead. It was this guy's name by Parker Saman, and very, very different film. And the fact that he was so versatile, and that he composed the hell out of this phantasmagoric thriller, and also has this incredible, spectrum of talent to be able to tackle an indie, essentially friendship comedy like that. It was amazing to be able to attend both screenings. But hearing the full mix, I think, because I think it was tinkered, if that's right, between Tribeca and certainly when I saw it next at Fantastic Fest, it was a whole other experience. Really feeling the full visceral composition of it all. He's outstanding.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I like all the bright red in the movie, and the blood is a different shade of red than I see in most movies, which I thought it worked good because it looked like the door and everything, but I also thought it looked like paint almost, which I thought went well with the movie, with all the artwork in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. It smelled like paint too.
Man,
It was smelled like tempera paint. It gave a real elementary school vibe to the super violent scenes.
yeah, I mean, we're not in reality.
Right.
We're seeing things through these characters' eyes, and they got a biased perspective, so it was more exaggerated. So that was the intention behind it.
And who actually does the gore effects and the makeup and the costumes?
We had a combination of Dan Martin, who's based in the UK, who did a lot of the construction and design work of some of the masks and some of the appliances. And then we had an on-set makeup team, which was Ashley Thomas, who she actually created the blood for us, and was in charge of sort of applying and executing all of the gags. And she did the head too. She created the head. I should give her credit. She created the head for the climax, which is a complicated build. Yeah, so she's amazing.
Yeah.
And Josh, how about the eye makeup? Is that hard to work with?
It's always tough having spirit gum on an eyelid or really anywhere, because it's more the adhesive, the stink is a lot, and it's chilly. But thank God, many of the times it was applied wasn't 6 a.m., which is when I was previously used to it. So later in the day, you can have your morning and then work your way up to your eyelid being closed the rest of the evening. It was actually very effective in the way that some actors talk about wearing wardrobe or wearing shoes. It kind of gets you there. It helped get me woozy, gave me that kind of drunk, broken feeling that Bruce certainly would have with a head wound. So I found it super helpful once, you get through the process of it all, that stinky, sticky stuff.
Well,
and it looked amazing.
Yeah, it looked great. Everything looked great in the movie. I love the movie, not just because you guys are here. I actually really liked it. And so people should check it out, A Wounded Fawn on Shudder. And is there any plans after? Everyone should watch it on Shudder, but will there be a physical release down the road?
I don't know. I mean, I know that it's going to be on VOD and on other services down the road, but I don't know about the disc. Hopefully, if your viewers like the film, please let Shudder know. The more we can fly the flag, the more likely they are to put the resources behind it. So,
all right. Well, thank you all three for being here. Sarah, Travis, Josh, and everyone go check out A Wounded Fawn.
Thanks, Neal. Happy holidays.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Thanks, Marissa.
Thanks, Neal. Bye.
Bye.
If I cross now too, see I regret nothing when I'm with you. Why won't you throw me a line? I've got a question for you. Will you still love me when I'm through?
I said, are you okay? And you said, what did I just say? I tried to say you were right, but you had faded away. You left a note with a bouquet.
With the light forever luminous. Will you love me when I'm dead? Think I'm gonna scream. My body is anonymous. Oh baby, will you
6, 8, gonna take you on a date.